In this movie, I will be showing you Easy Price Pro's Easy Electrics program. The Easy Electrics program is easy to use and accurate. It will enable you to create a professional and comprehensive estimate or quote that meets the exact needs of the job quickly and easily. It will also provide you with a full set of documents, including a written quotation, that you can present to your prospective client. Let's see it in action. The Easy Electrics program opens at the Client and Job Details page. On this screen, I can enter all of the contact information for my client. I'm also able to enter my details as the estimator for the work. This will mean that all estimates can be easily traced back to the person who prepared them. I can now use the drop-down menu to select the job description, and if it's a wire or rewire job, I will select Rewire House. By selecting one of the rewire options, the pricing sheet will contain extra sections. I'll show you this when we get to the pricing sheet. This next feature will really speed up your estimating. Easy Electrics provides a list of all the room types that may be involved in the electrical works you're pricing. I simply work through this checklist and enter the number of room types I need to include in my estimate. For example, there's one hallway, one lounge, one kitchen, one dining room, one conservatory, one ensuite, one bathroom, one toilet, 3 bedrooms, 1 stairs and 1 landing. When you've completed the client and job details, you click Save and Start Quote. When you're doing a rewiring quote, this form will come up. It provides you with the opportunity to increase the labour hours for the fitting of items by a percentage of your choice. Easy Electrics will now use this information to prepare the pricing sheet, where the estimate or quote is completed. Easy Electrics will automatically take you to the pricing sheet as soon as it's ready. If I scroll down the pricing sheet, you can see that every room I entered on the job details page is now listed. The room title is in the yellow heading at the top of each room section. As you will recall, I entered 3 bedrooms. If I go down to the bedrooms, you will see that Easy Electrics has organised their headings as Master Bedroom, Bedroom 2 and Bedroom 3. We will look in more detail at the information that's automatically generated for each room, but first we'll go back to the top of the pricing sheet. Here I am provided with a snapshot of the estimate details. Below this I'm able to set the default for the electrical manufacturer, along with the colour of the electrical items. By default it's set as Crabtree for the manufacturer and white for the colour. To change it, I click on the cell to open the drop-down. Select the manufacturer, then click on the cell below and use the drop-down to select the colour. Once I've adjusted this, I click Set Default. This will automatically adjust the materials in the pricing sheet to my chosen default settings. Let's look at the pricing sheet in more detail. Every room that you specified on the job details page will be on here. As I've stated, it's a rewiring job. I can allow for the costs of this on a room-by-room basis too. Underneath the heading of each room, you will find 3 sections: Preparation, Existing Wiring, and Making Good. These sections will only come through onto your pricing sheet when you're doing a rewiring quote. To allow for the rewiring works, I just enter the required information into the blue cells. I simply put in the number of hours that need to be allowed for chasing in labour, remove and replace floorboards, remove existing wiring, connect to existing wiring, and making good. I also have the option to alter the tradesperson allocated to the task. Changing the tradesperson will alter the cost, as it will allow for the rate of the tradesperson you've selected. The great thing about this is that you can do it on a room-by-room basis, which will help to ensure that the right quantity of hours is allowed. If you're not doing any rewiring in a certain room or rooms, you simply don't enter any hours. If you're not involved with certain sections of the rewiring, then you just leave the corresponding blue cells empty. To prepare the rest of your estimate, or if you're not doing a rewiring job, you simply use the descriptions column for each room like a checklist, and enter the quantity required for each of the described items into the corresponding red cell. All of the standard items that may be required are listed for each room, for example faceplates for double and single sockets, TV and telephone, and of course light switches. Other standard listed items include ceiling rows and pendant lights, smoke alarm, heaters and transformers. If we look at the kitchen, you will find that the list contains other items relevant to the kitchen, such as electric oven, electric hob, cooker switch, and so on. If we move to the master bathroom, you will find that items such as an electric shower, heated towel rail, shaver socket, and so on listed as standard. If you ever require an item for a room that's not on the standard list, then you simply add a line. And enter the description, and it will be entered into your estimate. When you're pricing, due to the layout of the pricing sheet, you can start at the room at the top and just work your way down the sheet. This is a foolproof way to ensure that no room is overlooked. You also have the ability to alter any of the material descriptions by using the drop-down menus. If you want to alter the tradesperson who will be carrying out a task, again, you use the drop-down and the labour cost will alter accordingly. If an item that you want to use isn't listed, you can add it to your material library, and it will then be available to use. You also have a separate labour and plant library. Again, if you wish to alter an item or add one, you can. When you enter the quantities of the required items into the pricing sheet, the Easy Electrics programme will not only work out all of the hours, plant, material and labour costs for each item, it will also work out the costs and hours for all the items associated with it in the Associated Items section of the pricing sheet, which I'll show you now. After the final room listed, you will come to the section of the pricing sheet where all of the pricing information for the associated items is detailed. The heading of this section is Associated Items for the above rooms. For example, every time I entered a double socket faceplate in any of my rooms, a back box for the double socket was allowed for here. By default, the switch and socket back boxes are entered as galvanised, but I can simply click on the thumbnail picture for each and adjust this to meet my requirements by entering the quantity of double and single dry lining and surface mounted boxes that will be required. The number of galvanised boxes will instantly adjust when I enter these numbers, so the overall total of back boxes I will need will remain the same and ensure that I don't enter too many or too few. The same automatic process of the associated items being accounted for occurs with the wiring, cable clips, and any miscellaneous items. So when I enter in items, the cable for them is instantly worked out, as are the cable clips. At the top of the associated items for the above room section, you will notice that there are some red cells. In here, I can enter the length of cable required for the shower circuit, cooker circuit, ring main, and the light radial circuit, as well as the length of cable that needs chasing and the number of consumer units. The programme is able to calculate the lengths of cable exactly, or it can round them up to the nearest roll. You can decide how you want the programme to deal with the wiring. If you want them rounded up, use the drop-down and click Yes. If you want it to be exact lengths, click No. Once you've entered the required quantities of items for each room and entered the information into the red cells under the Associated Items by Room section, your electrical works are almost priced. We do recommend that you spend just a few minutes scrolling through the associated items that have been allowed to check they meet the exact needs of your job. If you want to adjust a material, then simply click on it and use the drop-down menu to select the one that you want. Your judgment will be required on any of the blue cells in this section. And it's also worth checking the quantities that are highlighted yellow. The Easy Electrics programme will bring through all items associated with a room, but it may be that you have some special requirements that the programme has not been able to account for. The programme also provides you with a section for plant and building materials. Simply enter the quantities of the items that you require, and the programme will allow for the cost of these in your quote. Finally, you're provided with a section that enables you to allow for the costs of any testing or admin that you will need to carry out during the works. To include any of these items, just enter the requested information into the blue cells. My electrical works are now priced. Not only does Easy Electrics provide me with the ability to produce estimates quickly, but the professional documents and reports can be instantly created at the click of a button, saving me yet more time and ensuring that my business and client have all the information that's required. First, I will click this button here, at the end of the pricing sheet. This will take me to the summary sheet for this job. The summary sheet is fantastic. It gives me an at-a-glance breakdown of the hours, labour costs, material costs, and total cost for each room and section on the job. If I scroll down to the bottom, I can use the sliders to easily adjust the markups on my plant, materials, and labour. It's great because I can alter these markup percentages independently of each other. Next, I can adjust the percentage allowed for my overheads. The overheads will cover all the operating costs that are generated by running my business. Now I've adjusted my markups and my overheads, I can see the total amount of clear profit that I will make for my business if I secure these works. Below this, I can see the overall totals for this job. I'm also provided with a pie chart, so I can instantly see the financial breakdown of this work. This summary is for me and my business. Let's take a look at the documentation I can provide my client. First, I will show you the thorough written quotation that I instantly create for my client in just a few clicks. I'll click on the Reports tab. Next, I click on Quote. Now, I will click Write Quote. Literally, at the click of that button, all the information I entered onto the pricing sheet is transformed into a professional, detailed, written quotation. I have a sample cover letter that I can easily edit. At the click of a button, I can choose to remove the individual costs for each item listed, or leave them there for the client to see. I'm also able to insert my own logo, or if I want to be able to use more advanced functions, such as changing the font type or size, I can export the document to Microsoft Word and make any required changes in that program. When I've made any adjustments, I simply print a copy off either straight from the Easy Electrics program or from Microsoft Word if I've exported it, and it's ready to be presented to my prospective customer. As you will recall, I showed you the summary for the quote. Easy Electrics also provides you with a client summary. As you can see, it lists the breakdown for each room and section of the job. But as it's for your client, it doesn't show any of the markups or profit information for the work. So it enables you to provide the client with the summary documentation for the job as part of your quote presentation. Easy Electrics will also provide you with a complete material list for your quotation that you can print off or export to Easy Order. Other great features include the function that allows you to add your own custom room. You're also given the ability to adjust and modify all the predefined rooms that Easy Electrics comes with, so they will meet the exact needs of your business. When it comes to estimating, Easy Electrics really will save you time. It is easy to use, whilst providing you with the flexibility to ensure you can produce estimates that are based on the way you do things and your individual client needs. Plus, with the professional reports and charts that are created at the click of a button, it really will ensure you're providing your client with all the information they need to make the right decision. If you would like a one-on-one demonstration of the Easy Electrics program or have any questions, please contact your local consultant, whose details can be found on our website, www.easypricepro.com, or you can call our dedicated support team on 0845 612 4747, and they'll be more than happy to assist you.